Hey everyone, Tony D. Welcome to a Screenwriter's Rant. Little Joan is on the cushion on the floor where it's nice and cool. We're going to talk about Pink Opaque. It's a new independent movie. It's got some interesting things in it, but I'm not so sure where the story's going. But anyhow, let's talk about it. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. Links in the description. Woke, a standard novel. Hollywoke, another novel, political satire about the movie industry. And of course, the Pineys, books 1 through 6. Comedy horror in South Jersey. Book 7 dropping this July. And speaking of July, check me out at the Sunrise Bookstore July 15th. I'll be doing a book signing in Ocean City there, and I hope to see you. Now, Pink Opaque. The trailer's very opaque, I will say. Starts out, well, it's a bit derivative. Los Angeles, a city of millions of people with millions of stories, and I'm trying to figure out mine. Okay, thanks, Film 101. But let's get to something a little more substantial, and then it does. It does. It's about a guy who's, I guess his father's gone, and he was a painter, and now he's graduating school. His mother doesn't want him to talk to his uncle. His uncle talks to him anyway, or he talks to his uncle, and finds out he has one of his dad's paintings, and then he says it's like he disappeared. It's like everything about him got erased. And that's a very interesting comment. I like that. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right. This sounds intriguing. And this is a lot of film festival stuff the film garnered. So he's got some depth to him, and there's something going on here. And then he meets this girl, and then it turns into a love story about whether or not they'll get together, I guess. Doesn't really say. And then it goes into this montage where he goes into his closet and it's empty, and then he goes running after her, I guess. And then later there's a scene with money where she's looking and there's some money. So is one of them doing something nefarious? Like, see, there's the money. All right, did he sell the painting for millions of dollars or something? And then there's a scene where somebody pulls out a gun. I'm not even sure who it is. I don't think it's the main character. I think it's somebody else. So I'm not totally sure what's going on. And then he says something like, well, this is about me and this is my story. Okay. Not quite sure what's going on. It got very there's good elements here, and then there's just like, what is this, film school 101? I mean, that's what it felt like. Like, if you're going to be that blatant with it, just tell me what the damn story is. But so there is some interesting elements here. It may be the sort of thing. Maybe it's a first time filmmaker, and he's just trying out his. This is the first movie he put together, and then some of it's good, but some of it's like retreading old ground we've seen in movies like a million times, because he's just sort of getting his sea legs, as it were, as a filmmaker. It may be the screenwriter, same deal. I don't really understand the title, Pink Opaque. I think that might have something to do with the painting, the color of the painting, maybe, that he used, Pink Opaque, or may somehow connect into that. I don't know, because the trailer didn't really tell me. So as a trailer, I gotta say it's a bit of a failure, because it's missing a couple of key elements here. And I don't know. The problem with Los Angeles, in my view, it's kind of a city without a soul. If you've ever been there, it's kind of soulless. It really is. It doesn't have the character of, say, a New York, or even a San Francisco or a Chicago. There's like, it's just partly because there's not a lot of centrality to it. So you kind of don't know where you're at. You're in Los Angeles all the time, driving and driving and driving. So maybe it's the sprawl, but maybe it's the culture too, in some respects. The culture there, there's a culture that's kind of defines New York and Chicago and some of the big cities. I lived in Los Angeles for a short time. The culture might be there, but it's kind of hard to pick up on. The only part of the culture I could pick up on was just everybody's very superficial. And I've talked about this before, how everybody's polite, but they don't mean it. And that doesn't translate well when you're trying to do a story about Los Angeles and you have these surface characters, unless you're showing them to be very surface and, you know, the kind of people who pursue very surface things. And I don't think that's what this movie's doing. It's trying to be taken seriously. And for several seconds, I was on board, but in that the middle was golden in this trailer. It's the opening and the end. I'm like, So I'm not sure. Would I see this movie? Maybe. I might see it. I mean, there was enough intriguing stuff in here that makes me go, well, this could be a good movie. I at least want to see what the money's about. So maybe it did do its job as a trailer. First act, I guess it's about the kid, and, you know, he's graduating and his life's, you know, he's trying to figure out what he wants to do in his life, and then he meets his uncle. He rediscovers something about his late father. It impacts him, and then he meets a girl, and that impacts him. And then something to do with money and a chase at the end. I'm not sure. Maybe he steals and sells the painting because he feels he owns it. Maybe his uncle just gives it to him. I don't know. Maybe. It's a strong maybe from me. I'm very torn. So Pink Opaque. No date on when this movie opens or anything. It's called a drama movie, so that may be why. I think, though, I don't know about that title. I'm big on titles. That title, I don't know. So that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Sleepy Little Joan on the floor trying to stay cool. I'm going to try to stay cool as well. Check us out on Bitchute and Rumble. We have 2 other videos that we don't put on YouTube. We can't, because we talk about forbidden things. So join us over there, and we'll see you tomorrow.